Hello, welcome to the show. We got a sick dog. Maggie Jane's got a little cough going on. We had to carry her to the vet yesterday. She got pneumonia, but we got her on some good medicine, and she's actually, I think she's feeling a little bit better.
Say a little prayer for Maggie, girl.
Yeah, she's had a rough time the last 2 or 3 days. We thought it was allergies, but actually it's a type of pneumonia. So we got her took care of. We're getting her took care of. Anyway, folks, we're talking about seed starting today. This is a series on seed starting. We're talking about lights today because lights are so important. It's one of the biggest failures I see with people starting seeds is they let their plants get leggy. We're talking about that and gardening in general. Glad to have you. So stay tuned. We're going to get into it. We're going to share with you some of our thoughts on lighting with seed starting. Welcome to the Row by Row Gardening Show, the best dadgum gardening show on the internet, where we talk about gardening, a little bit of cooking, and growing your own food. Now sit back and enjoy. I told the lady at the vet, this right here is probably the best dog I've ever owned. I'll be 60 years old in May, and this right here is, I've had a lot of dogs, and this is a good one right here, so we got to take care of Maggie Jane. A friend of mine said this right here. He said, I think I got 2 good dogs left in me, and I thought that was pretty profound. When you judge the end of your life by how many dogs you got left in you, and he said he felt like he had 2. I hope I got at least 2 left in me, but she was a stray that showed up here, and she has been special to us. The best behaved dog I have ever had.
Yeah.
And I've had some dogs I was crazy about, but Maggie Jane, she ranks right at the top. A lot of old people say that you deserve to have a good dog and at least one good dog and one good horse in your life. Well, I've had both.
What about a wife?
And one good wife. I've had all 3. So. We're still nursing the sickness a little bit ourselves, but we're doing a lot better. We can't seem to shake this
cough.
Man. Anyway, we're doing a lot better. The garden is starting to come along. Man, my onions and everything's just looking wonderful. And we had this other cold spell come here and knocked us back. I actually think I may have lost a pepper or 2 in the greenhouse overnight. It got so cold.
Really?
Yeah.
I think, I may need to move them inside.
Yeah. So we're talking about this morning it was 22 in the low 20s. So it's been, maybe this is the last one we can move on, but this plays havoc on those new plants. This right here is some cauliflowers, and they did pretty good, but you see they kind of limped over a little bit right there. They'll stand back up.
Did you have the heater on?
I did have the heater on, but still, it took a whipping on some of the warm season plants. The cool season stuff's looking pretty good. So it is what it is. I'm lucky enough to have a greenhouse, and if you don't have a greenhouse, this is something I would highly encourage you to do. Although we do a lot of seed starting with grow lights inside, and we grow a lot of microgreens and things like that. So grow lights is definitely something you can use. It's the entry-level way to get into seed starting is grow lights. A greenhouse is the best way, heated greenhouse, but that's quite an investment. I bought mine probably 15 years ago.
It's been a long time.
Been a long time, and I love mine. Now, I go to my greenhouse every day. It's the best money we've ever spent. It's not the fanciest one, but it gets the job done. I put a heater in there when I need it. Don't have automated.
Fish your collar.
I'm all messed up, ain't I? One button up right here.
I haven't been in my garden in 2 weeks.
I know.
Been cold, then I was sick.
Yep.
Then cold.
So one thing I've noticed is onions have really popped and started growing. Mine is just looking wonderful. So I'm excited about that because, we waited and waited. Our onions just struggled, but we knew they'd pop. Now, this is the time of the game, probably today, I'm going to add some calcium nitrate to them. They need a little bit more fertilizer. I want to make sure that they got everything they need when that weather turns around in warm days, that they pop and they run and they grow. And I'm going to add a little calcium nitrate.
You going to side dress?
I'm going to side dress a little calcium nitrate. And the reason for that is we got to get some calcium in that plant for when the bulb starts, so it has plenty of calcium to build what we call cell wall in that onion bulb.
It helps with storage.
It helps dramatically with storage, something that we've just learned in the last 2 or 3 years. Now, we knew calcium helps with cell structure on any kind of fruit, but it helps dramatically with onions as well. Excuse me.
You need a cough drop?
I may need a cough drop. We can't seem to shake the cough. But anyway, you know, this time of the year, we have a lot of people post on our row by row group, and they struggle with seed starting. Had somebody just this morning post on there that they was having less than ideal results, and they asked for advice on there, and they said it'd been bottom watering. But bottom watering is not the way to go when you're starting seeds. That can cause a lot of issues.
Well, you can't bottom water till you've got roots down there to soak it up.
So bottom watering, when you got seeds on top of this right here, you're dependent upon that water to wick all the way up. And then you're setting yourself up for disease problems, your seed rotting and things like that. So I do not recommend bottom watering at all when starting seeds. Now, after your seeds get on up, you can do that. I don't know if you can see it or not, but these little bitty roots coming out the bottom of these right here. This is the stage of the game you can get by with a little bottom water. I'm not a huge fan of bottom water because it does set you up for a good bit of disease problems there.
So we're going to talk about grow lights today, and some of the questions we're going to cover is the light spectrum, how close the light should be, the ideal intensity, how long the light should be on, adjusting the height.
Now the best thing is natural sunlight, if you can do that. So we have a sunroom in our house, and you may have a sunroom in your house. You can put them on the windowsill. But what happens there is these plants will pull to that sunlight, and they don't grow straight up. And they can also get a little leggy because although you got a lot of sunlight coming in from this way right here, it doesn't hit the backside of those, and it just doesn't grow a real good plant. So underneath, natural sunlight is the best
Yeah,
thing.
if you're growing them inside, like in a sunroom, you want to make sure to rotate them, or if it's pretty, like by lunch, sit them outside and bring them back in at night.
Yeah. The more sunlight you can give them, the better off you are. Now, with grow lights, you have the opportunity to change the amount of light they get by setting them on a timer, or you can manually just go in there and cut them off and cut them on.
You want to mimic your outside light hours.
Ideally, you're going to do. You can save you a little electricity if you do that. However, I have done tests before, letting the light stay on 24/7 and then turning them off 8 hours at night. I couldn't tell any difference in the plant.
And some of those microgreens, they're getting a little dry and crispy, leaving the light on all day.
Yeah, we'll dry them out a little bit more. So you have to anticipate, if you do leave that light on, it is going to dry them out. Now, let's talk about grow lights just a minute. Are there some DIY ways you can do this right here? Yes, they are. I mean, you can take a regular LED light and you can rig you something up for a grow light there. But the key to it is make sure you use the LED, because the regular fluorescent lights, what we call the TO lights, or the old school fluorescent lights, will get hot, and it becomes dangerous because we can burn our plants. Also, the heat is not good for that plant because they put off an enormous amount of heat. So LED is definitely the way to go, regardless of whether you go with a store-bought grow light as what we sell, or you do one of your own. Now, we got a friend of ours that has talked about for years how he takes regular LED lights and he takes books and stacks them up, and he adds a book or takes a book away as he needs to raise that that grow light. Ideally, what you want is you want it about 6 inches or so above where your foliage is at there.
You want it closer when it first sprouts, and then slowly move it up.
Now, contrary to what most people think, it takes zero light for vegetable seeds to germinate. So you don't need a light on at all until you first see that sprout come up there. At that point, you have to immediately get it underneath the lights or your plants will get leggy.
Now, I thought something like tobacco, you need light.
I
mean, natural light, no?
We hadn't. I've heard that too, but even with celery and tobacco and things like that, the commercial growers put them in darkness for the first little bit.
Tracy was planting some herbs yesterday, and she said that...
Now, there are some herbs that may need light, but as far as tobacco and celery goes, those on the commercial, from the commercial guys, they do it in the dark. They just get their humidity and temperature right.
And I think when she was saying they need light, they don't need to be completely covered up.
Could be true on some herbs. I'm not the herb expert she is, but on tobacco and celery, it doesn't matter. I know about those two. And celery and tobacco, both of them are extremely finicky to get up.
Tracy, if you watch this, correct me if I'm wrong.
On tobacco and celery both, you don't cover the seeds. You just push them in there. As you do with a lot of herb seeds I've seen she recommend. You just kind of press them on the top there. Celery seed, you need to germinate about 60 degrees, which is very unusual. But tobacco seeds, you germinate at about 85 degrees.
So what about the color of the light? Does it
Well,
matter?
you know, the cannabis people really got into all the different colors. That's where you see a lot of these high-end spectrum lights and all that, and it comes into play from when they used to grow cannabis indoors illegally and all that. Yeah, it makes a huge difference in that. Now, I'm not no expert, and I don't pretend to be, but it does make a difference on that end thing. From a vegetable gardener, I think regular LED lights is enough to get the job done.
Well, I read that you want a cool white or daylight spectrum.
Yep. But just you can buy those at Home Depot or Lowe's, or we sell our grow light kits. Either one's got that, so it's pretty easy. The main thing is to make sure you use LED lights. You'll thank us later on that one.
What about light intensity or lumens?
I've really never seen that make a huge difference. I say get a good bright light, but I don't never seen that make a huge difference as far as growing vegetables. Now, when you get in, like I said, growing some of the other stuff, yeah, it probably does. But from our standpoint, I just don't think it matters a whole lot. You just want a good, strong LED light.
And we talked about the height.
Yep.
I did read if it was a flowering, you wanted higher than vegetables.
Oh, a higher density light.
No, a higher height.
Oh, a higher height, yeah. And we've grown lettuces and things in there with this regular LED grow light system here. We haven't had any problems. Let me move this out here. Now, the girls up front, this is our kitchen garden kit. Or is this the indoor? I get them mixed up. This is the indoor, I believe. This is the indoor, which is the smallest one out of the bunch right here.
Miranda said we could talk about her fail here.
They're starting to sprout.
They're starting to sprout.
She got too much water in there.
Yeah, I asked her how she did that, and she didn't know.
Well, what could have solved this too? She'd have took the woman's slits and put it on that right there, and not used a solid bottom tray would have helped on that. See them sprouting a little bit, but that's probably going to have to be discarded. However, they did do a pretty good job on the other three there. They were so proud of themselves.
We babysitted them this weekend for them.
We did babysit them, and we watered them for them this weekend. You can see the roots starting to come through right there. Now, the thing about any kind of good grow light system, these things can be a little bit of an investment. For $100 or $125, you can actually buy a good commercial-made grow light system here. And the good thing about these is you can use them pretty much all year long. So you can use them in the springtime to start your plants. You can also use them for microgreens we have right here. And you can use them for growing lettuces in there just about any time you want to. Now here's the main thing with grow lights. You got to have some kind of system, whether it be something that you just make or not, so that you can lower and hold this down for me right here. Or you can raise up. If I can get this thing raised up like I'm supposed to. See there? You can raise it up and you can put stops on it.
Yeah, leave it raised a little bit higher.
That's the good thing about these, the actual grow lights that you buy that is meant for plants, is they normally have something built in there. All of ours, my kitchen and indoor have these knobs right here, as you can lower it. Now, our hanging light system has little pulleys on there that's used that I really like, because these are so easy to raise and to lower there, and they're a lot bigger too.
And most people use those on like a wire rack.
A baker's rack. They work
Baker's
ideal.
rack.
We got one of those set up in the break room back there, and it works wonderful. You can set up several of those on those baker's racks that you get from Home Depot and Lowe's. Another thing too, this is the difference between going to buy a store-bought regular light and using it as a grow light versus buying a type of commercial grow light here. all of the grow lights that are manufactured for growing plants have these domes underneath there to direct the light straight down. If you can see right here, you see the edge there? Even our hanging grow light has the aluminum part. What that does is that focuses all that light down in here. Now, if you go buy you a regular LED light from Home Depot or Lowe's and everything, it's not going to have that on there. You could make you something, heck, you could do it easy out of tin foil or whatever else.
Piece of cardboard.
Cardboard, direct that light down in there. But that's the main thing people don't understand the differences is buying a actual grow light meant for plants versus just buying a regular LED light is the doming and the focusing the light down. I'm standing here looking at it and I can't even see all the light because the light is focused, all of its energy is focused down on the plants here. So that makes a huge difference there if you decide to do your own grow lights right there. Besides that, if you do a good job with your making your little dome there with the LED light and you have your way to adjust them up and down, works just as good as what we do.
Do you need a fan for circulation?
I think you need good air circulation. If you don't have good air circulation, you're setting yourself up for some disease problems there. Now, it ain't got to be real fancy, but just like in our break room where we keep all our grow lights at, we have air conditioning coming on. So it's coming on, it's changing that air out, and it helps a little bit, or it helps a lot in there. So if you got a room that doesn't have any air circulation, yes, some type of fan would help on that right there.
What about power consumption? Are we going to use a lot of power?
No, especially with these LED lights, they're really energy efficient. You won't even know it on your light bill, how much electricity they use. It's very, very little.
So we have a hang and grow light kit that's perfect for our 162s and 338s. And then we've got an indoor seating light kit that looks like that. It actually comes with 4 of these right here.
Yeah, and actually these new 25 cell trays will work underneath this smaller grow light right here. It's not ideal, but it will work.
You could actually put 2 of them on there.
You can put 2 of them on there. So you can put 50 of these right here underneath this little smaller grow light right there.
Don't get them mixed up.
Oh, I ain't. Because we'll get in trouble. The girls are so proud of their microgreens. Let's look at this plant right here. To give you an example, this plant right here, let's see if I can pull one out there. That plant there is not quite ready, but it's getting real close. See how those roots are running around right there and it holds that soil together as I pull it up? About a week from now, that plant's gonna be ideal right here.
And that just pulled right out of there.
Got pulled right out. So these plants really do well when you get your seeds starting down pat and you start getting that fertility on there, right? When those true leaves come on there. Seed starting is an art, and once you get it, folks, you got it. But it takes a while to understand the seed start and
you're
get
probably
it under
going to
control.
fail a couple times.
I still fail from time to time. There are times that I take good seed and I put out there and I don't get good germination because something got out of whack.
I think last year you used the wrong pot and soil mix.
I used something that I was trialing out and it didn't work out for it. So they are failures to be had, but for the most part,
Tracy, one of the things she says, and I agree with her, most failures are due to the depth of the planting your seed. People plant them too deep. The bigger the seed, the deeper they're planted. The smaller, the more they should be.
Shallower, yeah. Again, we've talked about drainage, about leaving them up so they can drain right there. That's what we love about our bottom trays, is they have that little 1/4-inch gap there. I seen where Tom Matthews took his 162 trays, I believe, and took him some bolts put on there so he keeps them off his bottom trays a little bit, which is ideal. Yeah. So
Spacers.
if you're using the 162s or you're using a store-bought 1020, it doesn't matter. Get you up a little bit of gap in between so those things can drain out there. Drainage is huge. Make sure your seeds don't rot off or you don't get dampening off or something like that right there with your seeds. Seed starting's fun. I love to grow them and give them away. So I grow way more than what I can use and we give them away. And the people that maybe garden that don't have the ability to start their own seeds. So growing seedlings in the greenhouse is my thing.
And you've got your tomatoes, your peppers.
We've got tomatoes, we got peppers up, we got tomatoes, man, a bunch of tomatoes planted.
I've got a bunch of flowers planted, snaps,
and all that. So we got a lot of things growing in the
a
greenhouse
lot
right
of
now.
bachelor buttons.
The greenhouse seed starting is wide open in the February. We'll be starting our watermelons in a few days. We'll be starting our okra in a few days. And those
Roselle.
Roselle in a few days. A little early on the Roselle. So we'll be starting all those
I
soon.
thought you said you needed to start it earlier this year.
I did. I was late last year. I didn't transplant to way up in May. My goal is to transplant in the end of April.
Are you going to grow for seed again, or?
I am going to grow a seed crop somewhat, but we enjoy that. That Roselle's fun to grow. Grows like crazy. It's hard to get rid of because it makes a heck of a stalk, but it is fun to grow. So there you have it, folks. Seed starting lights. One of the biggest issues with new people starting seeds is they let their plants get leggy. And once those plants get leggy,
It's hard to
you're
come
just
back.
well off to throw them away and start over again. And it can happen. I know Evan started some peppers in the back there, and he was gone over the weekend, didn't check on them, and they come up and they got leggy on him within 24 hours. So it can happen real quick. When you do, throw them away, start over. You can try to salvage them, but for the most part, you're better off just to start over and make sure you get your strategy down right. Just as soon as they pop through, get them underneath light, whether it be natural light or sunlight, and you'll be amazed at how well they grow off there.
Okay. If you have any questions we didn't cover, put them down in the comments below, and we'll try to get to them.
So, garden spotlight of the week, and this is pretty interesting because look at the Hoss snowman there.
This is from Devin Whittington, South Mississippi, Zone 8B. He said, "Me and my house of a snowman." That's a big old snowman.
Devin, you put it together, buddy. Look at there. Yep.
It's taller than he is.
It is.
The house hat on.
Yep.
I wanted to do that, but our snow, when we had it, wouldn't stick.
Yeah. We got about 5 inches here. I've heard people in the county got as much as 7 inches.
Yeah.
Devin, looks like y'all got a heck of a snowfall there
I was
too.
going to do that same thing with that same hat
Yeah, that is cool.
and my own carrots, but it didn't work out.
Thank you, Devin, for sharing that. And we have got the old goat drawing, folks. The old goat is on the set here somewhere. If you find them, put in the comments below. Last week's winner of spotting the old goat is Linda Young. Linda sent us your shipping information to
Support at growhalls.com.
and you will be sent a pair of dirty socks. Look at there. One size fits all. Nice and stretchy and comfortable.
If you've got dirty socks, send us some pictures.
Not dirty socks. If you're wearing our dirty socks.
Yeah.
All right, folks. So this is what we got on the website here. We got turmeric pre-sale. We got sweet potatoes for pre-sale. You can go ahead and book your sweet potatoes.
Before you go any further, talk about you taking turmeric. You've started taking it.
I started taking turmeric every morning. So she freeze dried some of our turmeric that we grew last year and made capsules out of it. And I'm taking 2 capsules every morning. We're not using the store-bought. We did our own turmeric.
Right, we put the pepper in there.
So the problem with turmeric, we know it has huge health benefits, but the problem with turmeric is 99% of all the turmeric is grown overseas in India, Pakistan, places like that. And it's been known to have heavy metals in it as it comes to the United States. Not a lot of testing done on it, not a lot of quality control. So there've been some issues with turmeric coming in being contaminated. So we're growing our own turmeric. She puts them in these little capsules here, and I take 2 every morning.
Can you tell the difference?
Not yet, not that I know of.
I thought you said your back was better.
My back is better. I didn't know if it was due to turmeric or not, but my back is a little bit better. And I take a beet. So you did beets. Mm-hmm. So I take a beet capsule every day, and I take 2 turmerics every day. We've got black pepper in there to help with the absorption and all that. But anyway, growing your own turmeric is fun and easy. It's one of those things you can plant and just kind of leave alone.
And it's
Now,
pretty.
we're going to start shipping turmeric in March, but this is what I will tell you. If you get your turmeric in and you plant it, it's not going to come up till it gets ready. It could be on up in May before that ground gets warm enough for that turmeric sprout come up. It more likely will not rot. It's just going to sit there until it gets ready to come up. So don't fret that. You can either keep it and plant it when it gets warmer, or either plant it and don't worry about it and let it come up on its own. That's what we did. It's fine.
And it does great in containers.
Yep.
So if you don't want to, if you don't have space to allot to it, because it does take up your space all summer long.
It does, and it likes just a little bit of shade. If you got a place that gives it a little bit of shade, it doesn't take a whole lot of water and everything. Water it some, but not a whole lot. But then it's easy to grow. We got turmeric pre-sales. We got sweet potato pre-sales. We're fixing to have tomato and pepper plug pre-sales within the next few days. We're working on that.
We still got some potatoes.
Still got potatoes. I ain't planted my potatoes yet, but I'm gonna plant my potatoes probably next week. I always plant mine in February. So we got a lot of things going on. We got a lot of things in the works, but we have those available for pre-sale. If you hadn't ordered yours, go ahead and get them up, because we probably won't run out of sweet potatoes, but we definitely run out of turmeric. We sold out of turmeric last year. All right, folks, thank you for joining us. It's that time of the year where everything's starting to just turn around a little bit. We need some warm weather, make us feel a lot better. So maybe that'll happen within a week or so. We get out there and we get our potatoes planted, we get our spring garden going. I'm ready for it. Thank you for joining. Now get outside and get those hands dirty.